Hey everyone, I'm really excited about the upcoming webinars, which will teach you how to transition to standards-based grading in 5 simple steps, while still doing the things that you love. Now, I'm assuming you're a school leader who has recently adopted standards-based instruction, but you still report in an old, traditional points or percentage-based fashion. And you're also seeking to align your standards-based instruction with the standards-based grading and reporting system. Well, you're in the right place. This webinar is definitely for people who use academic standards at their school, who want to improve student learning, who have a growth mindset, and have zero to little to great experience with standards-based grading. I really want to emphasize the last point. No matter where you are with your experience with standards-based grading and instruction, you're in the right place, and this is going to help you out. Now, this is also definitely not for people who don't use standards at their school, or for that matter, who don't think standards are important for student learning, who aren't willing to grow as educators, who think they already know everything there is to know about teaching and learning. And finally, for people, again, who have a fixed mindset. This is not going to be helpful for those kind of people because you have to learn how to grow as an educator. You might be wondering who I am. My name is Kyle Wagner, and I'm a school transformation expert and standards-based instruction and grading guru. And it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm really excited about the learning that we're going to have together. Now, to give you a little bit of a background of my experience with education, I've been an educator for over 12 years. I started a very innovative school within a school called Futures Academy at the International School of Beijing, which used standards-based instruction and grading. I've taught in many standards-based schools, and again, the program that I started, Futures Academy, was able to transition to standards-based grading in less than a year. Finally, I'm a project-based leader at High Tech High, the very innovative school in San Diego. So for those of you who think that you can't do innovation and also standards-based grading, that's completely false. And we're going to teach you how to do those things. So here's a preview of what you are going to learn in this webinar. This webinar is going to teach you how to design standards-based assessments, how to design and develop standards-based rubrics to match those assessments, how to generate standards-based reports. Now, for those of you who are high school administrators, you're going to love this part. You're going to learn how to transfer standards-based reports to numerical marks for high school graduation so that you can assure that students are on the same level. And finally, how to use standards-based grading to improve student learning. Now, what is standards-based grading? So standards-based grading is different than a grading on percentage or points-based system. It's a system for reporting student proficiency in a number of specific learning goals. So you're not measuring against points, you're measuring against specific learning goals or standards. Now, since I have been an educator, I have constantly sought to align these things. How do you align standards-based instruction and standards-based grading? And that's what this next diagram illustrates. I want to align my 21st century standards-based instruction with a standards-based report. Now, I started out kind of thinking that I was going to be able to do that, and it wasn't going to be a problem. Because the first place I started out with was High Tech High, one of the leading innovative schools on 21st century standards-based instruction. So here's me in my very first classroom at High Tech Middle Media Arts, ready to go, ready to do standards-based instruction, and ready to teach these 6th graders everything they were going to need to know. I thought every day was going to be high fives. Thanks, teacher, for making it very clear what our learning was. We got the outcomes, and we're here to give you a high five on the way out the door. But in reality, I was a little bit naive, much like most of all of us as first-year teachers. It wasn't like that. Most of the times, it was me feeling frustrated, like I couldn't align those two. Because I found really, I was mastering 21st century standards-based instruction, or at least getting better at it, but my standards-based reporting was still in an A, B, C, D fashion. It really didn't align with the way I was teaching and what I really believed about education. So I tried different things. I got my master's degree in teacher leadership. I read books on standards-based instruction. I really spent a lot more time planning to try to align the two, and I finally observed master teachers. Some of it worked. This is a student presenting his own identity book that he authored himself and really hit a lot of the standards for English. So yeah, some of it definitely did work, but most of the time it wasn't this kind of learning. Most of the time it was me with my head buried in my hands, feeling frustrated like I couldn't align these two things. So I did what maybe some of you had done. I decided I need a new environment. I needed a new experience. So I flew to China and decided to teach in some of its international schools. And so I started teaching in an international curriculum. And what I found was that the international curriculum, especially with the middle years program, was very standards-based grading system. But once again, I had a dilemma because it had a standards-based grading system, but what I found was that the actual 21st century standards-based instruction was uninspiring, and it didn't really live up to the actual grading and reporting they were supposed to do. So it was out of balance again. But fortunately, I had got enough exposure to both that I had an idea. I felt like, hey, there's got to be a way to align these two things. And so I checked my idea over with some experts. I contacted Rob Reardon, who is a co-founder of High Tech High, and ran the idea by him. And I also looked into some people's work that helped. This is Gusky, who writes all about standards-based grading and instruction, an expert in the field. And his work helped me out. And so I looked for a place in which to expose my ideas. And this was International School of Beijing. They were looking to align their standards-based instruction with their standards-based grading. And so there, I was able to start a unique school within a school to model this for the rest of the school. This school is called Futures Academy. This school finally was able to align standards-based instruction and standards-based grading and do some pretty neat things. We had the alignment finally that we were looking for. We were able to align the two and really inspire student learning and improve that. So this webinar is going to teach you how we align those things and give you the same impetus for how you can align yours. Join me at the webinar next Wednesday or Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Sign up below. Space is limited, and I hope to see you there.